Alrighty, what's up YouTube and Spin Space? My name is Ben. I'm going to be giving you guys a review on the Mini Falcon by FlayAwayToys. So just a real quick jump right into it. I haven't put this thing down. I've been using my Spinetics for a while. I've had them for about 2 weeks. I had another X that my wife stole from me. But I ordered another one off of the last drop, and I also ordered a Y. This is the one that's from the heat treating video that I posted on the Spin Space group. As much as I love these things, because they have no wobble, they're super balanced, there's just something about the Mini Falcon that I love too freaking much. I haven't really touched my Spinetics. I've been just jumping back and forth to this one. I've been saying, oh, I'm going to take that one to work, or I'm going to take that one to work. I'm looking for an everyday carry. And this has become my everyday carry so far since I got it. I've had it for about 3 days now. The main thing that I want to point out about the spinner is the heft. I don't know if that gets talked about enough in the other videos that you guys have seen, but for me, there's something very important about having heft in your hand. You know, the Maelstrom has it. It has good heft. As Fabian said in one of his videos for the review, you know, that this is a two-handed spinner. I sort of agree. I mean, if you have bigger hands, you can use it as a one-handed spinner, but it has that heft to it. You know, it has that, you know, it's there. You know, compared to the Y, you know, you could tell it's made out of metal. It's not aluminum. It is steel. There is some heft to it, but it's just not comparable to this. This is more spread out through a bigger area compared to this one. It's just, you know, like you're holding a little gold bar is what it feels like. That's pretty much the best way I can describe it. I don't have an original Falcon, so I can't compare the two, but I can tell you that the difference between this one and other bar spinners that I have, let me look for one that I have now. This is just a little crappy knockoff torque bar I got off of eBay for 15 bucks. You know, it spins okay. It does have the expected wobble, but there's just not enough heft. This is made out of aluminum. You know, this is the spinner I carry around and let my little nephews play with and stuff, because I don't want them to touch my nice ones. But this just doesn't have that heft to it. And in terms of hand feel, I mean, if I had a real torque bar, I would say probably I would like the hand feel, but this one just fits so great between the fingers. You know, I'm assuming the Falcon's probably about as wide as my hand, or maybe a little smaller. But in terms of the hand feel, this has amazing hand feel. The pads that you have here, you know, they're nice and polished. They are machined, so you can see the machining marks in there, but it just adds to the beauty of this little spinner. But other than that, just the hand feel that it has, just feels good to have in your hand. You can rub it as a worry stone if you wanted to. It's just that smooth, and the balance is just ridiculous. You know, of course, just like the Maelstrom, I believe their company is called Peregrine Manufacturing. These guys make aerospace parts. So you know, of course they're gonna have precision. Of course their spinners are gonna have balance to them. You know, that thing spins freaking forever. You know, it never stops. And same thing for this one, just because of the added heft from the steel, going from aluminum for the regular Falcons to stainless steel for the minis, and probably even the newer ones that he's going to come out with. I think he's coming out with a brass one as well. You're just going to have that heft to it, and it just feels so good to have in your hand. You know, even if you're not spinning it, you could just be holding this thing in your hand. Earlier I went to the supermarket, and I was just fiddling with it the whole time. I didn't even know I had it in my hand. It was just so natural to just play with it. So again, just to go over what most people will say about this thing, it does have a R88 bearing in there. It is a hybrid bearing. It is glued in there with Loctite, so if you ever need to remove this, you would need to press it out. I'm not sure which chemical would break down that Loctite. I don't see why you would have to take it out, since you know, iso bath and some compressed air should clean it up just good enough for you. I've never really been let down by the bearings from FlayAwayToys. You know, their bearings are great. I've had some issues with the Spinetics, but nothing a good cleaning can't take care of. And other than the rust, just make sure if you have these ones, don't get them wet. If you do get them wet, dry them up. but the reason why I have them out is just to compare how they spin. You pretty much, all bar spinners, you're gonna have that wobble. Fabian said it in his videos, other people are gonna say it in theirs. They all have a certain wobble when you turn them side to side. It's expected. It's not any play that's in the actual buttons or the body. It's from the bearing. The bearing has that play to it. So if you could see, I can move it there about maybe a millimeter up and down. That's just from the bearing. You're never gonna get rid of that unless you get a really super expensive bearing. And for the price point of, I believe, what, 69 bucks, you know, you're not gonna get a bearing like that. So they kind of compromised on the bearing for the cost, but I would rather pay 69 bucks and add in my own bearing than having to pay, you know, 100 and something just for a fancier bearing. Besides, I don't even spin them that long. I only go about 10-15 seconds between spins, just because when I get nervous, I love to play with these things. I can say that the bearings are, I'm sorry, the buttons, they are interchangeable between these two. You would think that the Maelstrom buttons would fit better on this thing. They do kind of feel better. I'll show you guys what that looks like. I mean, they do fit better. I just feel like they're just too big for this thing. It adds more heft to it, but if you have both spinners, you'll be able to just change these buttons out, no problem. The Maelstrom just looks silly. It just doesn't look right with these smaller buttons. But you know, some people might be more comfortable with smaller buttons. You know, these fit you know, your finger pads really well, which makes it perfect for the Mini Falcon. But going from the Maelstrom button to the Mini Falcon buttons on this one, it's just, I don't know, it just feels wrong. It just feels like these shouldn't go together. Some people will opt for it though. Some people like it. I personally don't. I think these buttons are perfect for the Mini Falcon. Other than that, just the finish on it is great. Let me bring it a little closer to the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All you're gonna see is just, you know, the grease from my hands. But I mean, there's no rough edges on this at all. The edges are really nice and chamfered. There's no hot spots on here, and like the regular Falcon, you have places for your fingers to catch. So that feels good too. They all come with this little carrying bag. I'm not sure what it's made out of. Feels like rough cotton, but I've been putting my spinner in there when I have it in my pocket. I'm just gonna put these buttons back. What's up, cat? Got my cat right here. So anyways, in terms of the spin, you're gonna be expecting about 4 to 5 minute spins coming out of this thing fresh out of the box. Of course, the longer you play with it, skin, dust, things are gonna be falling into your bearing because there is some small gaps there. So you will be finding lint, especially if you just put this straight in your pocket. I will say, if you are gonna just be tossing this in your pocket, just try to use the little bag. You know, it won't hurt you. It takes an extra 2 seconds to put it in there, and it's gonna protect the finish on your Mini Falcon. You know, I consider it a little investment because the market is so great on these things, especially the secondary market. I could sell these two right now for, I don't know, 150 bucks combined for both of them, just because how badly people want them. This thing, I could easily make an easy 50 bucks off of it because it's always out of stock. You know, so I always think of these things as an investment, especially since I have low serial numbers. And you know, don't hesitate to buy one of these things, especially if you're going to be investing in a first time spinner. You're going to want to, you know, be like, oh shit, well, I'm just going to get one of these things. It's only 18 bucks. It's only going to take 45 freaking days to get here. But honestly, it's okay if you want your freaking kids to play with it, or if you want to just carry it on your keychain. Get one of these, no problem. You know, I personally don't have an issue with clones. I understand people's views and perspectives on it, about how, you know, it's hurting the makers. But you know what? Now that I have one of these, and I paid 18 bucks for it, I can feel the $18 out of this thing. I can feel the $100 out of this thing, but it only cost me $40. So if China is making these things and these ones, but these guys are going over their quality control like these guys are. I'm gonna be jumping from the clones to the real thing. Eventually, I'm gonna get a torque bar. When they come back in stock and when I get a material that I like, I'm gonna buy one of those. But I don't see why I had to spend so much money on something that's not as exquisite or not as artistic as this thing. This thing is freaking gorgeous. And so is this thing. They're just beautifully made. You know, a lot of thought went into these things. Rich, I applaud you, man. These are freaking awesome. Anyways, getting back to the review. I will say, I do wish I had a little carrying case or I had something better to carry it in. This thing barely fits in the tin. So I just maybe wouldn't suggest carrying it in the tin. It sort of fits, but if you want to pull it out, you got to take it out at an angle. I don't know how the hell they fit it in there with the little pouch, but that's how they'll send it to you. Anyways, these are going to be coming back in stock soon. Just keep your eyes out for it. If you want to know about the latest drops, go ahead and join the Spin Space group on Facebook, or like Spin Space on Instagram, and you'll be able to see all the newest and best designs out there coming out from the best designers and makers in the industry. So my name is Benjamin. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good day.